Welcome to Beyond the Horizon, where the boundaries of history and mystery blur. In the twilight of Imperial Russia, a man emerged from the darkness, shrouded in secrecy and intrigue. Grigory Yefimovich Rasputin, the enigmatic monk who would captivate and manipulate the Russian royal family, and change the course of history forever. Join us as we venture beyond the horizon and unravel the tangled threads of Rasputin's life, death, and legacy. From the shadows of Siberia to the palaces of St. Petersburg, this is the story of Rasputin, a man who defied the conventions of his time and left an indelible mark on the world. Grigory Rasputin was born on January 22, 1869, in Pokrovskoye, a small town in Siberia. His family were peasants. He married Praskovya Fedorovna Dubrovina in 1887, and they had 3 children together. Rasputin's marriage was marked by his frequent absences from home, as he spent time traveling and developing his reputation as a mystic and faith healer. When Rasputin was home, he insisted on mandatory prayer and religious services that could last 4 hours. Every day was potentially an ordeal when Rasputin was home. He also developed a habit of talking to himself and had a number of worrying facial and body tics that made people around him nervous. Around 1892, Rasputin reportedly went through a religious conversion after visiting a monastery in Verkhoturye. He became a vegetarian and adopted a fundamentalist version of orthodoxy that included continuous penitence for sin. He wandered Russia as a hermit for several years, though he usually returned to his family in time to help out with the planting and harvest in the town. He developed a gift for charming people, his charisma. He could talk just about anyone into putting him up in their home and giving him free food as he preached to them. A rumor spread that he was a mystical healer. He started treating injured and ill farmers with a mixture of faith healing, laying on of hands, scriptural teaching, and occasional common sense advice about getting lots of rest and drinking plenty of fluids. Rasputin was known for his poor personal hygiene and was said to rarely bathe or wash his hands. He believed that bathing was a sin and that it was unnecessary to wash the body, as it was already clean from the inside out. This belief was likely influenced by his religious convictions and his view of the body as a temple. Rasputin's lack of personal hygiene was often remarked upon by those who knew him, and it was said to be a source of discomfort for those around him. Despite his unkempt appearance and poor hygiene, Rasputin was still able to attract a large following of women who were drawn to his charismatic personality and spiritual teachings. It's worth noting that Rasputin's poor hygiene was likely exacerbated by his heavy drinking and other vices, which may have contributed to his overall unkempt appearance and personal habits. Rasputin's reputation as a mystic and faith healer spread, and he eventually became influential in the court of Emperor Nicholas II and Empress Alexandra, where he was able to improve the condition of Alexei Nikolaevich, the hemophiliac heir to the Russian throne. Many believed Rasputin possessed psychic abilities, including prophecy. He is said to have predicted his own death and the downfall of the Romanov dynasty. But Tsarina Alexandra believed Rasputin's powers were healing her sick son, and he became our friend to the Romanov family, being summoned whenever Alexei needed faith healing. Rasputin's influence over the Tsar and his policies was seen by many as detrimental to Russia, especially during the tumultuous times of World War I. Rasputin's influence on the Russian royal family, particularly Tsarina Alexandra, was significant, and he was often consulted on important matters of state. However, it's important to note that Rasputin did not have formal authority to give orders or make decisions on behalf of the government. Rasputin's influence was more informal, and he often used his close relationship with the Tsarina to advise on appointments, promotions, and policy decisions. He was known to have influenced the appointment of government ministers, generals, and other high-ranking officials. Some examples of Rasputin's influence include: 1. Appointing and dismissing government ministers. 2. Influencing military decisions and strategy during World War I. 3. advising on domestic policy and social issues. 4. Interfering in the affairs of the Russian Orthodox Church. Rasputin's influence was often resented by other members of the royal family, government officials, and military leaders, who saw him as a corrupting influence and a threat to the traditional power structures of Russia. This resentment ultimately contributed to his assassination in 1916 by a group of nobles who opposed his influence over the imperial family. Historians often suggest that Rasputin's scandalous and sinister reputation helped discredit the Tsarist government, thus precipitating the overthrow of the House of Romanov shortly after his assassination. Grigory Rasputin's death is a fascinating and controversial topic. Here's a brief summary of the events leading to his demise. In December 1916, a group of conspirators, including Prince Felix Yusupov, Vladimir Prishkovich, and Dmitry Pavlovich, decided to eliminate Rasputin, whom they saw as a corrupting influence on the Russian royal family. On the night of December 29, 1916, they lured Rasputin to Yusupov's palace, where they poisoned him with cyanide-laced cakes and wine. However, Rasputin surprisingly survived the poisoning. The conspirators then shot Rasputin in the back, but he still managed to escape and run out into the courtyard. There, they shot him again, this time in the head, and he finally succumbed to his injuries. To dispose of the body, the conspirators tied Rasputin's hands and feet and wrapped him in a sheet. They then drove to the Neva River, where they threw his body into a hole in the ice. Rasputin's body was discovered a few days later, and an autopsy revealed that he had indeed died from the fire wounds and hypothermia. The exact circumstances of Rasputin's death remain shrouded in mystery, with various theories and legends surrounding the events of that fateful night. Some believe that Rasputin's mystical powers allowed him to survive the initial poisoning, while others speculate about the involvement of the Russian royal family or other political figures. Rasputin's private parts are a topic of much speculation and legend. After his murder, his body was mutilated, and his genitals were reportedly severed and preserved as a relic. There are various accounts of what happened to them, including 1. Pickled in a jar. One story claims that Rasputin's genitals were preserved in a jar of alcohol and kept as a souvenir by one of his assassins, Vladimir Prishkovich. 2. Buried in a secret location. Another account suggests that his genitals were buried in a secret location, possibly in the basement of the Yusupov Palace, where he was murdered. 3. Taken by a mysterious woman. A third legend claims that a mysterious woman, possibly a mistress or admirer of Rasputin, took his severed genitals as a keepsake. It is important to note that these accounts are likely exaggerated or invented, and the truth about Rasputin's private parts remains unknown. The fascination with this aspect of his life and death reflects the sensationalism and myth-making surrounding his figure. And so, the enigmatic Grigory Rasputin, the mad monk of Russia, met his tragic end in the sea waters of the Neva River. But his legacy lives on, a testament to the power of mysticism and the unrelenting human spirit. Beyond the horizon, where the boundaries of history and mystery blur, lies the truth about Rasputin, waiting to be uncovered. Join us next time on Beyond the Horizon, as we venture into the unknown and unravel the tangled threads of history's greatest enigmas. If you enjoyed this journey into the mysterious life of Grigory Rasputin, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel, Beyond the Horizon. Your support helps us create more content exploring the unknown, the unexplained, and the fascinating stories that lie just beyond the horizon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.